So, what will you do to keep the man who is promising you marriage forever? Will you go into a spiritual covenant with him to keep him bonded forever? Things are happening. You never know it until you are told. So, today's story is about a lady called Enyonam. Now, something strange is happening in the life of Enyonam, or happened in the life of Enyonam, and it has trickled down to her daughter, and she doesn't understand. Enyonam went into a relationship with a guy. That was the first relationship, openly. Now, in the course of the relationship, they had a little misunderstanding. They quarreled. And some few days after the quarrel, this guy started behaving abnormally. In short, he got mad and the relationship was over. She further, Enyonam, went into another relationship with a second guy. Now, this second guy too, they were in relationship for a while. A little problem, they quarrel. And some few days later, just like the first guy, he also got mad. The relationship got over. She doesn't know where he went, but he got mad. Not too long after, Enyonam went into the third relationship, and this time, this relationship ended in marriage. They married. Some few years or weeks or some few time into the marriage, they had a quarrel again. And some few days after the quarrel, this husband of Enyonam got crazy, got mad, and this time around, he died. After getting mad, he died. So, after everything was over, fortunately for Enyonam, he got into the fourth relationship again with a different man. And this time, they got married again. And unfortunately, while they were married, they had an argument, they quarreled again, and this fourth man also got crazy some few days, weeks after they had a quarrel. He also got mad, and on top of it, he also died. So because of that, people started talking about Enyonam, because how could you marry two men and they will all die after a short quarrel with you? Talk of the two other men that you were dating. So because of that, Enyonam decided not to marry. By this time, she already had a child, a girl. So she decided to devote all her time taking care of the daughter so she will grow into a beautiful adult. Now, true to that, this daughter of Enyonam, and let's call her Emerald, Emerald has grown into a beautiful lady. She too has found someone she wants to marry. Now, they were planning their wedding. About some few weeks into their wedding, they had a misunderstanding and they quarreled. Just after they quarreled, some few days into their quarrel, Enyonam's husband-to-be started behaving weird. He started behaving weird, just like what happened to her mother's husbands. This man also got mad, and sadly, he died. And so because of that, people started talking. What is it that is going on with the mother and the daughter, that any man that comes into their life dies? Enyonam started looking for solution because he doesn't understand what actually was happening. Enyonam's mother, which is Emerald's grandmother, was around 86 years. So Enyonam started looking for solution. He started going to churches and shrines looking for solution. And everywhere she went, she was told that the 86-year-old mother is the cause of her predicament. She is actually killing the husbands of her daughter so that she will live long. See, the theory was that Enyonam's 86-year-old mother was a witch, and she's exchanging the life of Enyonam's husbands so she could live longer. In fact, that is why she had lived up to 86 years. And so because of that, Enyonam's attitude towards her own mother changed. And sometimes she beats, physically assaults the mother and verbally assaults her too, because she has been told that the mother is the cause. And she still doesn't understand why the mother should do that. If she is the cause, why should she do that to the daughter and the granddaughter? So she kept on looking for solution. And a place where she went, she was told that the 4 men that she dated, the 4 men that came into Enyonam's life, of whom she married 2 who died, there was one other person that was Enyonam's first boyfriend. And this guy was called Richard. Now, it happened that this Richard is the father of Emerald, Enyonam's daughter. And when they, were in relationship, when Enyonam and Richard were in relationship, it happened that Richard wanted to travel. And so an opportunity came for him to travel. And so he came to Enyonam and told Enyonam that even though he's traveling, he wanted Enyonam to stay for him. He would want to marry Enyonam. So Enyonam shouldn't get married to anybody. And on top, he wanted to have an affair with her before he goes. And Enyonam said that, look, for me to stay and not marry because of you, we need to have a covenant. And so this Richard suggested that there is a river in their town. In the evening, they should meet by the riverside and have the covenant that they want to have. So in that evening, Enyonam and Richard met there. And when they met, the first ritual they did was to cut themselves, drain some of their blood into a calabash, mix it with alcohol, and they took turns in drinking it. Enyonam drank some, Richard also drank some. When they were done with that, they removed their panties and they shaved part of their private hair, put it together and put it in the calabash. And then they also removed their panties. Richard removed the boxers and Enyonam removed the panties. They tied it together and put it inside the calabash. After that, they had an affair. They slept. Enyonam and Richard slept. They had sex. And so when they were done with the act, they collected some of the water from the river to wash themselves into the calabash. And because Enyonam was a virgin by that time, blood came. And so they washed themselves, washed the blood and put it into the calabash. Then they pick a stone and put it on the calabash. And then they decided to remove their shirts, tie it together, tie it around the calabash so that the calabash will be heavy. And when they did that, they now said to themselves that with what they have done, nobody should come in between them. I mean, this is a covenant that will keep them together. Nothing should come or nobody should come between them. Then Enyonam told Richard to go into the water with the calabash because of the stone. He should even get another stone, place the calabash in the water, let it go deep and put another stone on it. And so Richard went with the calabash, and because there was a stone on it, when he put it into the water, it sank, and he put the other stone on it. And when they were done with that, they said that the spirit, if there is any spirit in the river, that spirit should be a witness between them, that nobody will come between them. They will marry themselves. And when they were done, they went home. Richard was in a shorts, Enyonam pulled a skirt up to cover her breast, and they went. So it turned out that this covenant that he did by the riverside is what was working against them. It turned out that the spirit in the river married Enyonam. So according to Enyonam, anytime he sleeps, someone comes to have an affair with her. Now, when they went, Richard, of course, he has gotten an opportunity to travel. So when Richard traveled outside, and they started communicating, exchanging letters. But it got to a time Richard wrote Enyonam and told Enyonam that she should go ahead with her life. She should marry somebody who comes to her, forgetting that they have made such a serious covenant between themselves. That is, nobody should come between themselves. And so Enyonam not too long realized that she was pregnant. And because of what Richard has said, that she should move on with her life, she told the mother, but they didn't go to tell Richard's parents, that he has gotten her pregnant. So Enyonam kept the baby, and that baby is Emerald. And so that was why when Enyonam's husbands were dying, she decided not to marry anymore, but this time concentrate on raising a child, and that child is Emerald. And it is because of the covenant that they have made. That is why the men who are coming into the life of Enyonam are dying just after a trivial quarrel. After a trivial quarrel, the first two men, they got mad. She doesn't know where they went. But the men who married her, they didn't just get married. They died on top. And it is believed that the same thing will be happening to the man, even though he traveled outside. Because now the spirits have taken over, and they are killing anybody who comes in between them. Unfortunately, this covenant has trickled down to her daughter. And so her daughter wants to get married, and just because of a little quarrel, the husband got mad and he also died. This is a very serious problem. Now, Enyonam doesn't know what to do. This needs a serious deliverance. A serious deliverance for them to break away from this curse that they have brought upon themselves. Other than that, nothing could be done. Nothing. A Emerald can never get married, because the moment he goes into a quarrel with anybody you want to marry, the person will get mad and die. This issue of covenant, we have to be very careful. If you love someone, you love the person. If he or she will marry you, it will come to pass if God has sanctioned it. If not, don't bind anybody with any covenant. Years to come, you will forget, and it will become a problem. This is the predicament of Enyonam. Now, Enyonam, and especially Emerald, cannot get married until this curse or this covenant has been broken. The spirits has taken over the covenant. They have married them because Enyonam keeps seeing experiencing someone coming to have an affair with her anytime she sleeps. Now she knows that the mother, the 86-year-old mother, is not a witch. The fault is coming from her because of the covenant that she had with Richard long ago. That is what is now following her. That is what is now killing the men who are coming into her life and the life of the daughter. Things are happening. You never know it until you are told. If you think you know what Enyonam can do, please leave it in the comment section. And please subscribe to our channel. Things are happening. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.